everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We've been pogging up a little bit lately. I'm happy to report that the Mr. Deeds saga is over. Okay, well, we win. This is an incredible start. S8T02DMD. What if we got like a 9 out of 10 item in here, too? Okay, well, mission failed, but we do have Satanic Bible, really good stats, and Infestation 2, which is... I would go ahead and say these are two 10 out of 10 items. It really depends, you know, if you want to get like a Gaussian distribution, I guess. How many 10 out of 10 items should exist in a game with 300 items? I don't know. Probably like 15, something like that. Is this amongst the top 15 items in the game? You know what? Probably not. It's close. I want to say yes, but it's probably more like a 9. But I don't know, we don't need to create a Gaussian distribution, because, you know, the thing is... like, we don't need to force the quality of the items to fit the expected distribution in the curve. We can instead just be like, you know what? Honestly, it doesn't fit a normal distribution, because at least, I would say like 30 to 50% of this items in this game, of the items in this game, I should say, essentially have no impact on your results whatsoever. It's really more of like a bimodal distribution, where there's like a big peak at like 3 out of 10, and then like a decent peak at like, you know, maybe 8 out of 10. Anyway. What are we talking about? The run's good, Poindexter. I don't know why you want to get me mired in the analytics right now. But I was going to mention, you know, it's, with a heavy heart, I announced the Mr. Deeds arc is over. I've completed watching the 2002 film Mr. Deeds. I would, honestly, I'm going to say, my 5 out of 10. I'm going to leave it at a 5 out of 10. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed the film. I expected it to... I've forgotten that there was, at one point, like, an Adam Sandler kind of, like... Anyway, you don't need me to get into it, but at some point he had jokes and a little bit of a heart as well. Like in Mr. Deeds, when he woos Winona Ryder, it's kind of sweet. It's got, like, a little wedding singer vibe to it. In Hubie Halloween, when he woos Julie Bowen, who also, of course, played, the love interest in Happy Gilmore oh so long ago. It just seems like something is not right, you know? It stretches the bounds of realism. Regardless, does it stretch the bounds of realism as much as Steve Buscemi playing potentially a werewolf? That's really up to you, quite honestly. I mean, I don't make the rules, but we don't need to get into my letterbox rushes, okay? How am I doing today? Honestly, we gotta give this day like a, you know, average. You know, if it were a baseball player, I would say so far, you know, they're batting like, maybe like 230. What's an average batting average in the MLB? This is a great question. Hello to you, Google. Good day. What is the average batting average in Major League Baseball for 2020 season? League 37.03. That's amazing. League year-by-year batting averages. Batting at 280? Whoa, 240 is garbage then. Alright, well, never mind that. I think we're batting 280 today. Went to sleep around 11. Did wake up around 2:30 for, you know, baby crying. It's alright. Watched a little Mr. Deeds at that time, as I'm sure I've made you well aware of. We definitely want to go to the shop if we get a key, because Yera could be awesome for us there. Woke up around, like, you know, 7 for more baby stuff. Kind of just been on babysitter duty from, like, maybe 8 till 11, which is right now, but it's been fun. It's been a good time. Can't really complain. You just, honestly, you just kind of get used to it after a while, and, you know, at the end of the day, again... I feel like pretty much the reason it doesn't feel as bad as I'm sure it can feel if you're also the parent of a newborn is like I feel very blessed, without a doubt, that I don't have to like wake up at X time and go to work. Like I'm getting work done. I'm gonna try this. I'm getting work done, don't get me wrong, but it's, you know, within a specific... I'm willing to do this, actually. It's within a non-specific time of the day. You know, I can do it whenever I choose, essentially. So if I have to start at 11 a.m. some days and 6 a.m. other days, then that's fine. Really, we were hoping... like, we should not go too deep on this. This hurts me to leave this behind, but... like, basically, we are winning this run right now. All we need is to not lose it by being a dummy. So, if we can avoid losing it like a dummy, I'd be pretty pleased. So, you know, let's not throw it away for no reason. If you just look at the items that we got here, we got a very good thing going. We'll still hold Yera. Even if we don't end up using it right away, we got a desire to use it at some point. And you may hear the baby crying as well right now. As of 12 minutes ago, that's the boss's problem. I kid, but also I don't kid. It's everybody's problem. On the other hand, it's outside of my purview temporarily. Let's put it that way. This run should be a pretty easy... this is 22. Win 22 in a row, possibly. It's an exciting day. Palindromic wins. The Daniel Sedin number. Who says no? The baby. The baby says no. You know what? I'm willing to take a stab on this one. If we had a Guppy item, now we got 2. If we had some Spirit Hearts, now we got 2. If we had Deal with the Devil, now we got 2. Okay, so for right now, I'm feeling somewhat like I got ripped off. A Guppy item could bring this back, though. Oh, baby, Troll Bombs. Okay. Not the best use of Yera. I think it's... I mean, you know what? The double battery charge is nice. I'm not even going to open the other one if you're new to Isaac, or at least maybe you've forgotten this one mechanic. If you Yera chests like that, they'll always Yera into a duplicate of what they were. The only exception is if they're an item, it won't give you a copy of the same item. It'll just give you a different item from the pool. And we're going hard on these pills on this one. Why? Honestly, I mean, it's just to inject a little bit of uncertainty into this run, you know? Sometimes, when you have too much order, disorder is warranted. When you have too much disorder, you crave a night at home with a cup of tea watching a movie on Netflix. You know what I mean? If you spend too much time watching Netflix, maybe you want to have a night on the town. Not me. Especially because the numbers here for the Backstreet Boys reunion tour are out of control right now. Plus, I'm not much of a night on the town guy to begin with. I'm like a, you know, nice meal at a restaurant sort of guy, for sure. You know what? I will have another Fat Tug IPA. Thank you so much. Not another one after that, though. We gotta get home. That's about my speed right now. Regardless. I can't see our HP, but I know we're killing it right now. We don't really want... Missing, no. I'm trying to think of what I got up to last night. It's very little. Like, honestly, my days are pretty... I kind of like this, to be honest with you. My days are pretty typical right now, you know? Baby time until work. Sometimes it ends up being 6 a.m. Sometimes it ends up being like 11 a.m. Kate gets up. She goes on baby duty for a substantially longer period of time. I want to point that out in order to be clear and be fair. I think we've got to... she may agree. She may disagree. I'll spy on her during her stream tonight. See what she says when she thinks I'm not listening. I kid. She can hear me right now. But I do less baby stuff for sure. But I think I serve my role by doing the dirty part of the baby stuff, you know? More diaper changes, especially the nasty diaper changes. That plays to my skill set because I don't get easily grossed out. It doesn't bother me at all. And then secondarily, the early morning hours. I think that I function a little bit more naturally on less sleep. But the big time investment and the big care investment is definitely... Oh, coming from the other direction. Sorry, I full screened by accident there. Take me down to the next floor. It's been a good week for games, dude. Playing a bunch of Rocket League. Having a fun time. New consoles come out. This is one of my favorite new segments on the show. What's being printed on my printer? Let's figure out. You ready? Could be a bill, could be a chore, could be a contract, could be a recipe. Here we go. This one is okay. This is a form. This is a form. It's a form that's none of your business, quite frankly. She's lagging here or laughing out there. You know, I'm not being negative about it. It's no cashew chicken recipe. Let's put it that way. When I picked up the piece of paper and it was a recipe for cashew chicken, I knew at some point in my future there would be a delicious meal, and there was indeed. This time I'm like, you know what? I think there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, but I think this means that I'll be making a drive a little bit later this week. Is that correct, Kate? She said probably. That's okay. Always nice to get the Bugatti Veyron out for a spin. Haven't been able to take it out to the track as much during COVID, but we've been stuck driving the Gallardo and the Koenigsegg CCR, of course. I mean, it's a nice little like everyday car, but you know, sometimes you get tired of all the looks you get in public. Like, I know, okay, it's no Enzo Ferrari, but like it's pretty good just for like a beater for like day-to-day driving around. Anyway. It's good for games, that's what I'm saying. Fall Guys released like the best update they've ever released, in my opinion. Really added a fresh little pog injection into a game that, quite honestly, has needed it. I've been having fun with it, and the videos have been turning out really well lately, but it definitely, like, it was a long time coming, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be like, you know, oh, who wanted more fun? Not me. That's not in my wheelhouse. And also, dude, I gotta tell you, I've been recording like some fun YouTube videos, trying to get in this so if people love the inside baseball some of the time, right? So and Isaac's a great opportunity for me to talk about my philosophy for stuff like this. So right now on YouTube, like we're still getting other stuff online. You know, we're still getting GeoGuessr in particular online. That's the one that is probably asked about the most right now. But apart from that, here's the way I look at it: 3 a.m. is always going to be Spelunky 2. They're very easy to record, and they're a lot of fun, and we're making great progress. What I would say is don't get mad, but the Spelunky 2 is probably going to get clickbaited out of its gills soon. And what I say when I say that is because I know that there's people that, like, they've watched other YouTube channels, they clickbait, they get annoyed by it. My philosophy on clickbait is thus: if you agree, great. Honestly, I'd love you to speak more on this so that I can have some people in my corner. If you disagree, that's fine too, but at least hear me out. I see clickbait as misrepresenting what happens in a video in order to get your attention, and then when you watch it, you feel like ripped off. Or the example that I always go back to is, oops, didn't mean to buy that. The example I always go back to is like when you're on a trashy website, and then it goes like, you won't believe what happened to this actress, and you're like, what happened? Souls we lost in 2020, and it's like a picture of Anne Hathaway. You're like, Anne Hathaway died? You click on the photo, Anne Hathaway didn't die. Sean Connery. Now, you know, not to say like that's any less tragic, I'm just saying, I mean, we knew Sean Connery died. Anne Hathaway, the photo was kind of confusing. Using a flashy title and or thumbnail, I see it more as marketing than as clickbait. I understand some people they draw the line in a different place. What I would say to you, as of right now, the content is not really changing. You know, like if you like watching Spelunky 2, if you like watching Fall Guys, those videos are going to have the same kind of beats that they all have to begin with. The only flip side of it is that they're going to be marketed a little differently. Instead of like, The Jungle, Spelunky 2, episode 59, it's going to be called like, you know, you never would have seen this coming. And if you take issue with that, then I do understand, but I also would just say, you know, I mean, it's YouTube, you know? On Twitch, the 32-year-old bald beard combo who's making references to like, hey, I mean, this is crazier than the things that happened to Cassandra during the Trojan War. People are like, I understood that reference, thumbs up. On YouTube, you gotta kind of put your best foot forward from like a, you know, like a 10-minute and 1-second runtime sort of perspective, you know, you're not misleading people. All you're doing is giving them... on the menu, you're not calling it chicken entree number 4. You're going, you know, this is firecracker chicken. And people go, oh, that sounds good. It's just ground chicken with a little bit of cayenne pepper on it. But you know what? People will be like, I like that General So's. I gotta Wikipedia this guy, see what kind of military triumphs he's experienced. But anyway, so 3 a.m. Spelunky 2. Amazing game, possibly my favorite game of the year. And the more I play, the more I like it, which is another very good sign in that direction. 6 a.m. Isaac, nothing's changing there. Maybe we'll consider face cam or like reworking the way we do titles and thumbnails when the DLC comes out. Maybe when the DLC comes out, you can look above the horizon. You may see some kind of porcine individual that is engaging in the act of flight. Maybe, you know, you could look below you and you could see the underworld going below 0 degrees Celsius, if you catch my drift. Anyway, it's probably coming soon. Or eventually at some point. 9 a.m. Fall Guys, you know the deal. And then at noon, whenever possible, I've been trying to sneak in a little, like, 20 to 30 minute variety content. So we did the Rocket League placements. We've been doing some like pseudo Northernlion try stuff where we took a look at Door Kickers 2. We took a look at 10s. We did a Rocket League tournament where we could we played against our fans and we saw how well we could do 1v1. I did a video with Mertzy, the Rocket League. I mean, I guess it's weird. I don't want to call him a Rocket League pro because I don't think he's like an esports athlete, but he's like... he is a professional Rocket League video creator, at least, and that was a lot of fun as well. So we're trying to mix in, like, a little extra variety there. So there you go. That's my philosophy for, like, recent YouTube doings. Look forward to more of that in the future. So it's been a lot of fun just mixing in, like, hey, you know what? There's this new free game on Steam called Perfect Vermin. Why don't we just play through, like, the whole thing at noon tomorrow and see how it goes? And it's been cool. And I hope you've been enjoying it and noticing it as well. Just trying to mix in a little, like, the favorites you love, which everybody tells me they never want to see change, but also, you know, a little bit of extra Pog variety for people that, A, like me, but are sick of watching Fall Guys, Isaac, Spelunky 2, and probably even Rocket League, to be honest. And then also maybe get a new audience that's like, hey, this is an episode 735 of something, so maybe, you know, we could actually, like, check this out for ourselves and see how it is. I was willing to take a stab at this one. Dude, we have Sacred Heart and Crown of Light. That's pretty amazing. There's also, I mean, it's PS5, Xbox One launch week. I don't know, like, so what, today's the 11th, so the Xbox came out yesterday. I don't think ours is coming till, I don't know, look, I actually am excited to hook up the Xbox, believe it or not. I like Game Pass, I like sports games, I like Forza. You know, is that enough for most people? Probably not. Is it enough for me, being in the industry as well? Sure. I mean, I think it gives me some relevance to talk about. Something relevant to talk about, I should say. But the PS5 is the one where I'm like, come on, come on, come on. I want that Demon Souls. I'm ready for the Demon Souls. How dare you? But I think it doesn't come out until tomorrow, which is like 4 days ago if you're watching this. Anyway, whatever. You're watching Isaac. Are you really concerned about new games? Well, if you are, then it's a big week. This is a mean sentence. I apologize to Ubisoft. Can you believe they're still making Assassin's Creed games? Like, I know, and apparently Valhalla is, like, really good. Like, actually very good. So I genuinely mean no disrespect. And I know it sounds like I was just being very disrespectful in saying that. But, like, they've been coming out since, like, 2007, man. Can't you just give Ezio a break? Hasn't he fulfilled his role, his part of the Assassin's Creed, hither to this point? I get that Ezio's not the guy anymore. I'm just like, haven't you said everything there is to say in the Assassin's Creed franchise? I guess the, you know, Call of Duty's been coming out longer. But, like, even Final Fantasy, like, as a kid, Final Fantasy, they came out with a new one, like, every year, sometimes every 2 years. Like, when Final Fantasy X came out, if you were like, hey, so Final Fantasy X came out in, like, 2001, 2002. I would have predicted that by 2020, we would have been on, like, Final Fantasy. At least they would have dealt with how to handle the Roman numerals for Final Fantasy 30. That was, like, one of the hot button issues in the early 2000s. When Square Enix gets to Final Fantasy 30, what are they gonna do? They can't call it Final Fantasy XXX. It'll get banned from stores. Well, they really got in front of that problem by releasing Final Fantasy X-2, Final Fantasy XI, Final Fantasy XII, Final Fantasy XIII, Final Fantasy XIII-2, Final Fantasy XIII-6, Lightning Returns again, but for real this time. Final Fantasy XIV Just Kidding Edition, Final Fantasy XIV we went back and redid the entire game edition. I probably won't live long enough to see Final Fantasy 30 come out. And you know what? I'm gonna have to cross that one off my bucket list, because that, unlike you know, Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson going to the Grand Canyon in the movie that was referenced previous, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make 20 Final Fantasies myself, or 16 Final Fantasies myself. My math might be a little fuzzy on that one. What's 30 minus 15? That's a tough one. I'm not counting Final Fantasy 11, okay? Why? Because I had to choose one to make fun of, and that ended up being the odd one out. Okay? I'm not making fun of 12. People sometimes say 12 is the best main series single-player game. Never played it. I'm not making fun of 13. 13's been made fun of enough. It now has an apologista surrounding it. I'm not making fun of 14. It's beloved. My wife's a big fan of Final Fantasy 14. I don't want to cause any problems domestically in the home life. Final Fantasy 15 is recent. Everybody's all horned up for Noctis or whatever. I don't know. I don't follow the discourse. Look, I know the plot. Oh, this meteor guy. Oh, whoa, you're named Sid? That's crazy. I'm named Sid. Anyway. Kate Sith and Yuffie. I know all about all that stuff. I have played Final Fantasy VII probably like 4 to 5 times through. Believe it or not. It was my favorite game between the ages of like 12 and 17. Sorry, I was caffeinating there. We got a pretty nice army of Shelobs here. You know what I mean? Shelob the spider. Did you guys see that incredible, wholesome TikTok, by the way? I know you're about to be like... You're gonna rue the day, because you're gonna be like, I don't watch TikToks. Yeah, me neither anymore, because I stopped putting any effort into it when it seemed like the US government was gonna ban it. You know, it seemed like I could probably serve my time was better served elsewhere, like, you know, taking care of my family. But it got reposted on Twitter. You've probably seen it. It's a 6-second video of 2 people watching The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And Boromir says, "What new devilry is this?" And then the camera pans over to an older woman who is watching it. And she goes, "Here comes the Balrog." And she's so happy. It'll light up your life. It's one of the most wholesome videos I've ever seen in my entire life. I watched it, I don't know, for hours. I stared at it for hours last night. I had a wonderful time. Can I tell you, so I sent that, I wanted to brighten everybody's day in the Discord group chat. I sent that video in there, and Sinvicta said, meh. That's the kind of energy you're dealing with that guy. Just because the Buccaneers suffered like a catastrophic loss on Sunday, you know, he's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. He's not even gonna hit me with a polite chuckle or a sensible giggle at "Here comes the Balrog." Instead, he's got to hit me with a meh. Lady, if you're listening to this, I apologize on behalf of my friend and colleague. He's going through a hard time, recognizing that Tom Brady is a great quarterback, but may not be good enough to carry the Buccaneers to anything more than an NFC South title this year. I don't know anything about football. I would just guess they're in the NFC. What division are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in? NFC South, let's go! You genius. Anyway, this is a wild one. It was very fast. I was happy to be a part of it today. A very easy one, and pretty much easy right from the get-go. I guess we'll be starting another run as Isaac next time, because I hit the spacebar too fast. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. See ya!